Babes, listen. It's time to jump on into it with your pals Nat and Jess and catch up on all things women's health and fitness.
Hello, welcome to Babes Listen, everybody.
Woohoo!
Well done. You didn't freeze.
For Wednesday. Recording this on a Wednesday.
Yeah, where are you going Friday? I haven't even asked you. You're going away, aren't you?
So I asked for it's staying in Christchurch. I asked for the details from Greg. It is some charity lunch for, here you go. It's a charity lunch for I Am Hope. So that's very,
cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool charity. But something to do with the Crusaders.
Cool.
And so
you're
it's,
going to the lunch.
Yeah, so the lunch is happening. So we usually record on a Friday afternoon if you'd like to know all of our schedules. Friday afternoon, but I will be at this lunch. And Nat, you are going away though.
Yes, Nelson.
Sunny Nelson.
I hope it is sunny, although I'll be inside the whole time.
You know, we lived there for a couple of years, I
That's
think.
right. Did you not, build a house or something there?
Yep, we did.
Yeah.
Near a place called Mapua. Really, really cool spot. And what I will say is that I enjoyed grey weather in Nelson because it really is a novelty. Like, it is sunny so much in that part of the country.
That's cool.
Beautiful part of the country.
I do love Nelson.
Yeah, it's
good. Enjoy. I've only really gone. Oh no, actually, I've gone for 21st back in the 21st season when I was that age.
Who had what? Who?
I had friends from Nelson.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, because you went to Vic, so that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So, but no, this weekend is for a Les Mills event called Groundworks, where we go to licensee clubs and introduce the new releases for programs, and then do education and a bit of track feedback and things like that. It's for instructor upskilling. So I'm looking forward to that.
And that's the second weekend in a row that you will have done that too.
Yes, yeah.
So
the last week was in Rangiora, so that's local.
How was your Sunday then?
Last Sunday?
Yeah, so you had a day off on Sunday.
I can't really remember. What did I do? Oh, I went and saw my friend's new baby, 6 days old.
Oh my
baby.
goodness.
I know, tiny, so small. Yeah, but because I've got so many friends that have had or are having babies, I'm really confident holding babies nowadays.
Wow.
Yeah, because I used to be like, no, don't give it to me.
Yeah.
I could break it. Don't know how, but I could. But no, now, and Shani's so good, but also she's a doctor, so she's dealt with baby, but she's so good. She freaking loves grabbing babies off people.
Oh, that's
sounds
handy.
really bad, but great for the the mums in our group. So yeah, I'm really confident now, so that's cute.
Wow. I was about to ask a terrible question, which is, did it make you
have to
plucky?
say it now. Oh, not really. It didn't this time. And you know what? There were a lot of toddlers and babies around, and they were all screaming at once.
Yep,
at one
that's
point.
what they do.
And I we left quickly after that.
It's like a domino effect. Just one gets knocked,
But
and then
it wasn't
the whole
even
lot.
it wasn't even a sad scream. It was just screaming for the sake of screaming. And no, it didn't make me clucky. Not that I don't want kids. I still want them, but I wasn't oh my God, I want them now. I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, still cute though. They're all cute.
They are noisy though. Their only way of communicating, because they don't use words yet, is to cry and scream and all that stuff. So it can be a lot when you get a group of them together.
Yeah, but so good for them. They're growing up together, and that's cute as.
Yeah, that is actually really cute that your friends have all got, kids
at the same time.
Around the same age, yeah.
Literally pretty much 3 of them, their firstborn around the same time and their secondborn around the same time as well. Yeah. Not on purpose, but that's how it kind of worked out.
Laura and I have spoken about this. So Laura is one of my best friends and her children are my godchildren. And so I have 2 kids and she has 2 kids, but there's approximately 8 to 10 years between the ages of our children. And so when we moved back to New Zealand, it was very exciting to obviously have an opportunity to catch up and things like that. But I remember she asked one time, did the boys want to come along to see a movie? And it was like a proper children's movie. And I was like, oh, they're a little bit too old for that. And it just kind of, I think it just sort of hit us actually where, we're
Very different
parenting
ages.
quite different ages. And she'll talk about stuff and kind of go, what did you do when that was happening? I was like, oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, so
8 years.
I don't remember at all. I have no memory of parenting my kids.
I've got zero memory of what my kids were like when they were toddlers. Blocked it out. Yeah, did you block it out? Carlos said.
Probably. Yeah. There was probably quite a bit of stuff that was blocked out. So we chatted last week about sort of I spoke about the demand of being a mum and wearing lots of different hats and all of that. And
actually, side note, I had a client say that we should do, and I totally agree with this. I haven't actually talked to you about this, so hope you approval from you, that we should have Carlos as a guest.
Oh, I love that.
Because he's obviously quite funny, that's what she said. Because you're always adding good value, but obviously they can't hear you. So, and it would be cool because then, this is her idea, by the way, she's quite intelligent. It could be get to know the producer of Babes
I love
Listen.
that.
That would be so cool.
Would you be keen? Maybe do that next week.
He said yes.
Are you here next Friday?
Okay, you're booked in.
You're booked in.
You're booked in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You need someone to produce us, though. That's the only problem.
Oh, yeah. Can you lock in someone to do that? We could do it. Can we? No, I don't know how. Anyway, yes, we talked about, I didn't want to cut your flow. Sorry.
No, but I love that idea so much because I think particularly last week or the week before, Carlos had some incredible one-liners that I really wish you could all hear because it was
You're
hilarious.
Quite quick, Carlos. That's the thing. You're quite quick with your one-liners, so that's what makes them so funny. Yeah.
So yes, but last week we were chatting about wearing lots of different hats and all of that, and I had mentioned that something that can be quite hard, particularly when you're having to fulfill lots of different roles, is when you have a tendency to be a bit of a perfectionist and then set quite high expectations and standards for each of those roles. So it's not just that you're having to switch a lot and fulfill those demands, but the pressure that you put on yourself to do them quite well. So leading on from that, we decided that we would look into this perfectionism thing just a little bit more.
How did we look into it?
A quiz.
Yeah.
How else are you going to look into it? How else would
Jess
you know?
found a quiz about how much a perfectionist you are, which we will link. Remind me to do that after this.
There is a quiz for everything.
Literally, like what Harry Potter character you are.
my one particularly, my favourite is the which Friends character are you?
Yeah.
I like
what are you?
that. Phoebe.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'm Monica.
I mean,
Although I think I was Rachel when I did the test.
Ooh.
I'll do it again. I'll ask Holly actually because I think I did it. Didn't you us three do it?
Yep.
And then it was a bit surprising. I can't remember. I'll ask
we
Holly. She's got a
can
good memory.
definitely go back to that and maybe
you haven't seen my results.
I have not seen your results, so I'm excited to see that. You sent them to me and I just saved them, but I haven't had a good look at them. But just in case you're not familiar with what a perfectionist is, then I will try my best to fill you in right now. So perfectionism in psychology is a broad personality trait characterized by a person's concern with striving for flawlessness and perfection, and is accompanied by critical self-evaluations and concerns regarding others' evaluations. Mm-hmm. Quite hard on yourself would be kind of the theme for that. So,
is that a bit of you, is it?
Well, according to this quiz, yes. But let's look at your...
Oh, because you didn't know before that?
I mean... unfortunately.
Let's compare results. I'm dying to know.
Okay, so Nat is dying to know. But maybe what we need to talk about first is kind of the types
You've got
of
a flow. Yes.
perfectionism, just so the results make sense. So according to psychology, there are 3 types of perfectionism. And the first one is the socially prescribed perfectionists. And these are people who are very self-critical, feel immense pressure to be the best and worry others will reject them. Perceived external standards which come from family, workplace, culture, society, and that can lead to anxiety and low confidence. So that's socially prescribed perfectionists. The other-oriented perfectionists, which is the second one, hold other people to high standards and can be quite critical and judgmental of them. And hard to build working relationships under these conditions, which is one reason this variety is quite detrimental. So they put a lot of pressure on other people. Third.
Why are you awkward?
Oh, because I've kind of admitted that I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and like it doesn't sound very flattering, does it? It's all right, we'll get there. If you two are a perfectionist, don't worry, stay with us.
It's not about being perfect.
It's not about being perfect. Yep, here we go. Don't think that's going to be the last time that phrase is going to be used today. Thirdly is your self-orientated perfectionists, and these are people who are quite organised and conscientious. They set high standards for themselves in their lives and careers, but are able to go after their goals. This also has been suggested as like the adaptive perfectionist versus the maladaptive perfectionist. Anyway, high self-oriented perfectionism is generally associated with the most adaptive traits. There we go. Correlated with greater productivity and success, including resourcefulness and assertiveness. They show higher rates of positive emotion and motivation.
I can't remember what I got for that, but just had a glimpse of your results.
Let's do you first, though. Let's do you first.
Have you got me there?
Yep. Look.
Really? Oh, wow.
Look, arrow saying Nat. That's how quickly I work. So, Nat, please fill us in.
Are you shocked? Or are you is this... I think I'm a bit of an average gal. So I'm 64% self-oriented perfectionism. So is that number 3?
That's the third one.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Which is 1.7% more than the average person.
Mm-hmm. So you're pretty average on that.
Standard.
Yep.
25% other-oriented perfectionism, which is 21% less than the average person, and that is 100% true because I tend to not put much expectations on others because I don't want to be disappointed. Like that's always been my thing where if I don't know, I don't want to be disappointed, so I just kind of tell myself they're going to do a shit job, and then I know I'm going to pick up the slack type of thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great, eh?
No,
but it's good because
so
I hate being disappointed. Like, I hate the feeling of being let down, so I just tell myself it's not going to be good anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. How do you go in group work?
I do it all. No, I do delegate, but I lead.
But you pretend that other people can do stuff, but really in your head you're going, but
I make sure that what they give them is going to be, I'm thinking of uni, back in the uni days.
Yeah. Those are the group project kind of stuff.
I was definitely the leader, and I would do, I guess, the overview at the end to make sure it all goes together.
Because you are in a leadership position?
I think leadership, but also I can't really remember whether I was... I think I used to kind of be like, that's their bit, and I'm just... All I can control is my bit, And maybe... I can't really remember, to be honest. When we did group work in, my degree towards the end, it was a lot to do with... We worked with the architecture students, so, interior, landscape, architect, and we were the project manager, so it was kind of almost a real life scenario. And so in that sense, I had to take the lead and I had to be the one that would be like, okay, you send this to me by this time so that I can collate it all together. You know what I mean?
It kind of makes sense, though.
It makes sense given what we do.
Yeah. Like, I just actually thinking about the group situation.
It's a great project. Like, it's a great thing to get students to do before they go out to the workforce.
Yeah, because ultimately it falls on you, which it does as project manager.
Yeah. So I do remember, but I do remember, that was probably my last group thing, but I do remember, just making sure that I had plenty of time to fix up anything that needed to be fixed before we handed in because I wanted a good grade.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, normal in that kind of group project. If it's not like everything was even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to kind of fall on you.
But in terms of
interesting.
I'm also, when I say that also is, say if I organise something, like a lunch, I almost tell myself that, or like say if it's a party, that no one's going to come, because if they don't come, I won't be disappointed. But I hate putting like weight into something that I can't control, which is people's opinions and what they want to do. So I don't want to expect them to come, because then I'll be disappointed if they don't. So I'm just like, I don't even give a shit if they don't come.
Does that strategy ever let you down?
I can't think of a time that it has. So maybe, like at this one, I'm going to say no. But if things pop up in my mind, then what way do you think it could let me down?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. Because what I was kind of thinking is, gosh, that's a really good strategy. Because what you're doing then is you're managing your expectations.
Yeah.
So that you won't be disappointed. I can't think of any sort of downside to that.
I know where it's coming from. Like, I remember when I was younger, I was such a diva. Like my poor mum, I was diva plus. Plus. And I remember wanting, like organising, say, my birthday party. I remember my 10 year birthday party. I had organised it to a freaking T, and it was going to be the best day ever, and it wasn't. And I was devastated. And I honestly think it's from then that I was like, I'm not going to, anything that I can't control, which is either how, because I remember being like, this person's going to do this, and like, just the feel will be like this, and you can't control these things, you know? So that's when I realised that, sorry, just spay everywhere. That's when I realised that I don't want to feel like that again. Like, it was so, I mean, for a 10-year-old, it was so shit. Yeah. So I do remember being like, you've got to just let it go. Let it go.
It's an incredible life lesson at 10 years old to understand that you can't control what other people do.
Yeah. I remember writing it in my like diary. Like, I still have it, being like, this is, like, I literally turned 2 digits and it was the fucking worst birthday ever. Like, how much of a diva is this girl? So much. You should read. No, don't read it. It's quite extra. It'll be in French, can't understand it anyway. I should bring it in, though. Oh, my God, it was full. Holy shit. Like, and you can see how, like, meticulous I was. Every single day starts with... whether every single page starts with whether my mum's working that day or not and what her shifts are.
Sorry.
I'm Quinn.
Yeah, you are Quinn. Yeah. What's his name? Quinn. Yep. You're my youngest. Yep.
Yeah. Every single... And it's funny because I read this with Mum over Christmas, and she was like, holy shit, you were really across my schedule. And I was like, yeah, because I wanted to know what the day was going to look like. Like, is Mum going to cook for me? Or am I going to have, I wanted to always the babysitter coming over. Or what are we going to do? Am I going to school? You know?
Yeah, you're my kid, for sure. Yep.
I'm literally Quinn. Yeah,
that's
every day, and it's so boring to read because every day is pretty much exactly the same. This is how I feel. This is what I did. This is the time I went to bed. This is what happened. So the only time it's like copy-paste. The only time it's interesting if I like see someone, like I went to her place, we did this and this. That's the only time. But otherwise, every day looks very much the same. Like, why did you bother, mate? Just record the days that are interesting.
Well, it sounds like you really liked structure.
No shit, Sherlock.
I love that it's my mum working, because what's the day going to look like? It makes a lot of sense to me. With my
But
youngest,
if you think of my life was very unstable from a young
that's
age.
true.
So this
That's
is my
true.
way of being like, I need stability,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
My mum works 90% of the time. I need stability.
yeah. Because I sort of, with my youngest, sometimes I'm like, why so many questions? Just see what happens.
Maybe it's the moving overseas. Oh, no, I hadn't moved overseas. Anyway, I don't know. Personality. Yeah.
Snap.
Okay, so, and then my third thing, socially imposed perfectionism, 31%, which is 22% less than the average person. What's the socially one again?
So socially oriented,
This one.
yes.
Imposing
yes.
high standards and expectations on oneself, so high that one feels unable to live up to them. Okay. Cool.
That's the one where you
So
feel
would you
like...
say on average I'm a bit average?
I would say on average you're a bit average.
Nice.
That's
what I would gather.
Which is great, because
well, for some of them, I'm 20% less than the average.
Yeah,
which
that's
is, you know,
I mean,
low.
that second one of sort of like, do you expect other people to be perfect? Really interesting, because you would say 20-something% lower than
The average person.
and then you've explained actually where that's kind of come from.
Yeah.
Which is
Only just clicked now though, because I did
Really?
the quiz like an hour ago. Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah.
such interesting insight.
So this podcast is so good for me.
The other oriented, that third one that you were talking about is when you feel like the expectations of you from other people are high.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
And that one wasn't too high for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
What about you?
Okay, so for me, and I have spoken about having recognised that I am a bit of a perfectionist, and also I get that feedback from other people as well, which is okay, I guess. So for self-oriented perfectionism, I got 92%, which is 29.7 more than... I'm really macking up my words today, and I think it's because perfectionism is on my mind. That's 29.7% more than the average person. So
29% more doesn't sound like a lot, but 92% sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So that's when you put a lot of expectations on yourself.
Yeah. And I do, and I don't consciously choose that.
No, of course
I
not.
just I think that I expect that if I'm going to do anything, then I need to do it well as a normal sort of thing. And then the other oriented was, I think, similar to you. I have quite a different... I don't think I have a similar perspective on it, though. Maybe.
What, when you were 10, you weren't disappointed about your
I don't remember
birthday party?
having a 10th diva birthday party and being disappointed.
That's weird. I'm just kidding.
I think I have a strong sense of an inability to control anyone else. So
That's smart, you know.
Yeah. So I think that's probably my thing but in that way, I prefer to do, like if I was being graded in my studies, would I prefer to do a group project or individual? I'd rather do an individual project.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably because exactly that, because other people will let me down.
Yeah.
Oh God, there we go. Yeah. Got it. And then the socially imposed perfectionism was 72%.
So that's what you feel people
Expect of me.
Expect of you. Yes, yeah.
Definitely.
72%. Okay.
72%. And the thing with that, which is kind of interesting, is that when I've reflected on this perfectionism thing, which for me is not helpful, like it definitely contributes to anxiety and depression. And I've mentioned I've had an eating disorder. The perfectionist part of who I am, or that as a strategy, is not good for my mental health. When I've really kind of reflected on what is this all about, it is that I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I also believe that that is what's expected of me. that has become then my normal way of being in the world, is that if I'm going to do something, then the minimum I need to do is to do it well. Which is a lot
Not
of
just
pressure.
well, though, to do it perfectly,
Yeah, or
would you say?
yes, or I don't do it at all.
Yeah, that is true. That is your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably not be a mum at all if there was the opportunity to have stepped away from it, because I felt like I learnt quite early on I wasn't particularly good at it.
Oh, that's so not true.
And so my thing is they're still around, but I'm kind of like, I can't even try. It's hard being a mum. So much pressure.
I bet. But that's the thing, though. You say you're not good at it because you're not, quote mark, perfect, but you are good at it. But you are good at it. Look at your kids. They're great. They're great children.
You know,
And who was their main caregiver?
the TV.
No. Who was their main caregiver? Jessica Fink?
Well,
You.
yeah.
Not the TV.
Yeah. And I had this conversation with Brittany yesterday, right? Because I was kind of like,
Massage therapist. Brittany.
Yeah,
Oh,
massage
awesome.
therapist Brittany.
Carry
And I
on.
was kind of like, I just have sort of, in a way, accepted that I'm just a really below average mother. And she was like, no. From everything you've been telling me, you're a really good mum. And I was like, no, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not.
It baffles me that you don't even think that you're slightly good.
I don't even think I'm slightly good.
Because you're not, quote mark, perfect. Which you
Yeah.
can't be. No one is perfect.
Yeah,
No one is perfect.
yeah. That's what this podcast is
It's
about,
about,
right?
sister. This is
it.
therapy for the two of us.
For those of you, we will share the quiz. So if you're curious about where you sit on the kind of perfectionism scales on those three factors, you're encouraged to do the quiz to find that out. If you'd like a quick kind of like, what are the signs of if I'm a perfectionist or maybe spotting it in someone else, then here they are. So the thing is that a lot of people are perfectionists in specific areas of their lives. Some jobs demand that of you. If you're a surgeon, really the stakes are high.
yeah.
If you're an air traffic controller, the demands of the job require that you absolutely nail them.
Perfect.
But if you find yourself wanting to achieve perfection in most things you do, you might be a full-time perfectionist.
Is that you?
Maybe.
Okay, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
Just making sure.
I think it explains the kind of all or nothing stuff.
Yeah.
So if I think I'm not going to do something well, I just go, meh. So, can't be
Like,
bothered.
what's the last thing? What's the last, like a game or something?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
No, putting me on spot. But what am I, like, I don't feel very good at cooking at the moment, so I just don't bother.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing.
I'm not great at cooking.
Do you bother?
I've actually been getting into it a little bit just the last couple of weeks because, not just because of that, but because, I mean, you all know that my neighbour passed a couple of weeks ago, and every time I cook, I give my neighbour like a portion. So I'm like, well, I want him to eat.
That is so adorable.
No, I'm not going to, no. It's like I'm cooking anyway. That's the thing I keep telling him. I'm cooking anyway. And to be honest, Essie hates leftovers. He never eats them. And sometimes, like I eat them, but sometimes I forget about them. They go to waste. So why
don't
you know?
waste them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
give your leftovers to your neighbours, especially the ones that live alone.
I think it's a really good point, actually, because when you are, like, cooking for one person is really challenging.
Yeah, well, like for two.
Well, yeah, but for him, for your
for
neighbour.
him, yeah, for sure.
For him
Yeah.
to even cook by himself is really hard. It's really hard to quarter a recipe.
And I think also he didn't do much cooking at all throughout his life, you know. So he's so, like, he honestly is so sweet. So I've been ordering authentic Italian pasta, which I freaking love because it doesn't bother with my stomach.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, because I'm
Nice.
gluten intolerant.
Yep.
So I'm into it, you know.
I like it. What's your favourite dish to cook at the moment?
Oh, like none, because I don't really like cooking.
Okay, Italian pasta it is.
What about you?
Well, I just do the same thing. I'm not bothering at the moment. Uber Eats, that's what I ate last night.
What was it? Which Uber Eats?
Uber Eats. I had Mexican. I had like a Mexican. Oh, it was so,
Yeah,
listen,
where from?
it was
What Mexican
so
place?
good. It was just, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a bowl. It was very good.
Oh,
it was
cool.
very good. I was like, I couldn't have made that better. I made the right choice.
Exactly.
So some clear signs that you might be a perfectionist include you cannot start a task until you are sure you can execute it flawlessly, which lends itself to procrastination. Yes. You take much longer than others to complete the same task.
Oh my God, that's so you.
I know, thank you.
Oh, obviously you read this because you wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's the whole kind of like, we're talking about job interviews and you're meant to say kind of what your weaknesses are. And I'm like, I'm a slow learner. I think this is it. I have to have it perfect.
Yeah.
You see the end product as the most crucial part of the task. Is there any other part that's important?
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
You think a task is not done unless you think it is perfect. I have those tendencies, yeah. What about you?
Cannot start a task until you actually, well, to a certain extent. Yeah, to a certain extent. Take much longer than others to complete the task. I don't think so. I don't reckon. I don't know. You see the end product is the most crucial part of the task. I think I see the process more, not just the process, but I think I put value into the process.
Yeah, that's the point, is that you
maybe
value the process, not just the outcome.
Yeah, yeah. Both, And you think your task is not done unless it is perfect. No, I don't think so, but it depends on what context, Yeah.
Has anyone ever said to you, you're a perfectionist?
Yes.
Oh.
I think so, yeah.
In what way?
Lots of ways. Yeah. Well, like when I lived, people have said I'm OCD as well, but I guess it's not really. Like when I lived with Shani, for example, she was like, wow, why do you fold your underwear? And I was like, do you not? Mm-hmm. Do you?
No. No.
Carlos does.
I don't. Do you
just chuck them? But do you have like a basket then?
I just...
Is it tidy?
Yeah, like I fold the kids and Greg's underwear.
Well, they're quite big though. Those guys' ones are quite big. But like, the jockeys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you think I was meaning by that?
Down a very weird
you
place.
Did that thing again.
Yes.
But, so for your own, are they tidy?
Yes, they're in a drawer.
In a drawer.
Yeah,
But like
not folded.
everywhere in the drawer.
Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out.
Everywhere, and they're like dispersed out.
It's not a big drawer.
Okay, it's a small drawer.
It's a drawer for underwear.
See, I'd have them folded.
Okay. Wow. Who's the perfectionist now? Not me.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. That's like, that was the feedback. You asked me, when have I been told that? And I just told you. Shani, when she lived with me, she was like, how come you... And the way I fold things as well. I feel like this is like, make fun of Nat Day.
Straight lines.
No, but like I have a particular way of folding things so that it fits perfectly in my drawers. Mm-hmm. And if someone folds it, I'll most likely refold it.
Do you do that very often where Essie might do some housework and you come in after and you do it right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yep.
100%.
Yep. Make sure it's done right.
It's like he doesn't see stuff. It's like he cooked last night, oh my Lord, and like spilled the honestly everywhere across the stove. And then I was like, please make sure you like clean that because, it's going to go like hard and it'll be hard to. And then he did, but he's like, yeah, it's done. I'm like, do you actually not see what I see? Like it was like crumbs everywhere still. Like the main stuff was gone, but he didn't see the rest.
Do you think he didn't see it or he just chooses not to see it?
I think he just gets distracted. Like he just like doesn't even like to him it's like, oh yeah, that's done, and then he's off to the next thing. Like he literally just doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this is boring chat. Karen.
Well, what then causes perfectionism? Where is this kind of coming from? This need to be perfect
for you?
Yeah, something I've thought about a lot, but this is what I've kind of come up with anyway.
Oh, you've got a list. I got a list. Me.
Please therapize me, Nat. We could be here for a very long time. So here is what I came up with. Rigid, high parental expectations can cause someone to be a bit of a perfectionist.
Oh, isn't it your own parents?
Yep,
Are your parents strict?
I think they're both perfectionists.
Oh.
So apple didn't fall far from the tree. I obviously got the genes for it, and I also grew up in an environment.
Okay.
So I do think I have a couple of parents who are perfectionists. So some of these might be true for someone, a combination of these. Highly critical, shaming, or abusive parents. Oh, didn't see that one coming up. No, that's not actually my experience.
But if it is, don't be ashamed,
Good point.
Yeah, if it is, don't be ashamed.
Good point. Excessive praise for your achievements.
From parents?
Yeah.
I reckon that's probably my mum.
Okay, yeah, I would say similar experience in that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That a lot of focus was on outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not so much on the process.
Yeah. That's why I never told her about anything below A, and I think I've said this on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't disappoint.
Low self-esteem or feeling inadequate. I'm sorry, but did anyone get through being a teenager with anything but low self-esteem?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so like...
Forcing you to think about that, eh?
I did, yeah. I was trying to work it out in my head.
No, I think that's part of being a teenager, don't you think?
Yeah, but not everyone becomes a perfectionist to deal with it.
True.
Believing your self-worth is determined by your achievements.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
That's why the whole... what do you do? What's your job? People put so much weight into that because that tells them how important they are in society.
Yeah. Yeah, if you believe in that, for sure.
Yeah, but you know how that's such a common, first question. What do you do?
Yep.
Oh, you're a surgeon. Wow.
Yep.
Wow, you are important there.
Yep.
Oh, you're a cleaner. Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
nice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I don't even think people say that's nice when someone says they're a cleaner.
I think it would be do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Black and white thinking, so sort of all or nothing, rigid thinking, efforts to feel in control, cultural expectations.
Yeah.
So many perfectionists grow up with unrealistic expectations from parents, caretakers, and or themselves. Being perfect can also be a defense against a chaotic, unpredictable, or unsafe home. Having impeccable grades or a restrictive diet, for example, may create a sense of control and predictability where there is not in the environment where you live. So that makes sense, doesn't it?
Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah. So, and I like what you said. I really like what you said about, and there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
There's no shame in if that has been your experience. And
I'll be the first to say that my upbringing wasn't the most ideal, and I don't want anyone to feel ashamed with if they're, what was the thing that we said? Highly critical, shaming, or abusive parents. Not that my mum was either of those things, but my upbringing wasn't the most ideal, and I don't think there should be shame. You don't control these things. You're born into this world as it is.
and then you survive them.
Exactly, yeah.
And you do your very best with whatever tools and skills and knowledge you have at that time. And sometimes it can be helpful to reflect and possibly work at, kind of unlearning some of those strategies, which are not helpful, which is what I mentioned about sort of the perfectionist stuff for me, is that, yes, perfectionism can be great if it's job specific, but for me it has caused a huge amount of anxiety and depression, and so it has not been a helpful thing in my life. What's hard, isn't it, when you are a perfectionist or you do things well, is you get recognition and reward for that.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to kind of let go.
And hard thing to unlearn then, isn't it?
Yep.
Takes time.
Yep. So here are some tips to overcome perfectionism if you have reflected and you feel in some way that it's not helpful for your mental health. So note down the advantages and disadvantages of being a perfectionist. Whenever you find yourself falling back into perfectionism, take another look at the disadvantages and move on. So where is this not helping me out? Because you will get rewarded for it. So,
yeah.
Set achievable goals for yourself. Setting attainable goals will keep you from pursuing unattainable perfection. This way you can achieve your goals with the resources you have.
Maybe get someone to check over that those goals are attainable.
That's a really good point.
Maybe?
Yeah, a friend or a mentor or something like that who can kind of just give you a little bit of a reality check in some way.
Yeah.
Set time limits for tasks and make sure to follow them. To avoid spending excess time trying to perform a task perfectly, create a realistic time limit and stick to it. I think you're very good at this. You know, you're quite good at sort of like allocating time to complete a task and then move on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Avoid procrastination. Concentrate on the task instead of the end product. If you can break down your job into smaller, manageable bits to complete one step at a time, you may avoid overworking.
That's
Remember?
like nicely written down, but that's very hard to do.
Procrastination is hard not to do for sure.
Oh my, yeah, especially in this day and age.
I don't feel like you're a procrastinator though.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
I definitely am. Yeah, I definitely am.
Yeah. Remember that mistakes are not bad. Celebrate them. That's quite a different narrative around making mistakes, isn't it? That's definitely not what we were told to do.
It's hard to celebrate them at the time when they've been made.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
If I made mistakes and not wanted to celebrate them.
Or acknowledge them in any way.
Yeah.
Pursue different things that matter to you and make you happy. Avoid focusing on perfecting only one thing.
Are you going to do these things, Jess?
I'm going to try very hard to do these things because...
Homework for you this time.
Yes, because I am so over like having this as an issue. I'm so over anxiety. I'm so over it. Really, like it is, you know, this perfectionism thing is like, it's not a low grade throwaway thing for me. It has a massive impact on my life and it has done for a very long time. And so I'm currently working very hard on sort of like looking at this with the help of an amazing psychologist that I go to see. And so this is very relevant, this topic for
so
me.
we're talking about it, yeah.
Yeah. We like to talk about stuff that is kind of relevant to us, that we can connect with in some way.
Yeah, otherwise this would be so boring.
Yeah. But so, you know, if that's your experience, I get it.
So you're currently working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing some of those things on that list, like writing down goals and blah, 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 things like that?
I haven't done that yet, but something that I am currently working on is I've gone back to my studies.
Yeah.
And I have in the past put a huge amount of pressure on myself for what grade I feel is the minimum that I need to get.
What is that? What was it?
I'll be honest and say that I can deal with an A, but I get very disappointed if it's less than that.
Okay. But you have said when you get an A, you're like, what do I need to do to get an A+?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not trying to like be like, shame. That's not what I'm doing. I hope you realise that. But yeah, so that's good that your A is okay for you now. Is it?
I think that's probably a good point, is that, yes, for example.
Your first thought is, why did I not get an A+?
Well, yeah, for example, if I see a result as 90, I go, where did the 10 go?
Okay.
Not, oh my God, not, you know, oh, wow, 90. I go, oh, what happened to that 10? What did I do wrong? So that's, it's a work on for me for sure. And I procrastinate massively with like essays and assignments and stuff until I literally have no time left to do it.
Yeah, see, you say that, but I feel like this, because when did you start studying this year?
February?
I feel like you've been doing so, like you haven't been like, oh my God, it's due tomorrow, I need to do this tonight. Like I feel like you've been handing things in early. And that's why the other day I was like, geez, you're doing really well. Like I feel like,
thank you.
No, because I was expecting when you were going, because I know this is one of your traits, to leave things to the last minute. You haven't done that this time, have you?
No, I had this conversation with my therapist, which was talking about the first thing that was due, and it was due on Monday, and it came up that I was going to start it on Sunday. And I was like, but it's not due till like 5 o'clock on Monday. And she's like, are you starting it the day before? That kind of is procrastinating, you know? And I was like, And I never thought about...
So wait, so when did you end up doing it then?
On the Saturday. So 2 days before. And then the next thing that was due was kind of like, I handed it in 3 days before. Handed it in, you know.
That's
3 days before. The last one I've had was in a week before it was due.
That's the thing that surprised me. When you said you had something due, you were like, oh, I did that last week.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who is this I'm talking to? Are you Jess?
Body snatchers. Yeah, well, no, because I've been actively working on this. And I didn't realize that procrastination was a trait of perfectionism. And I would just beat myself up and say, I'm unorganized, I'm lazy, you know, kind of when will I learn? Like, I'm a mum. Mums are meant to be organized. And here I am, you know, still studying like I'm 20 years old, trying to pull all-nighters, you know, whatever. I don't actually do that. I get too tired. But, you know, so this is, and also that the focus, I guess, for working on this perfectionism thing is being okay when it's not 100% and really sitting in that and being okay about it. And because the best thing for my mental health is to be okay when it's not perfect. I can't keep trying to be perfect. I'm exhausted. I'm 41 and I'm over it.
Amen. Amen, sister. I think celebrate the fact that you've already made changes. You know, like you've already handed things early. You need to celebrate that. I don't feel like you've put enough emphasis on that, you know? Do you want to move on? Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. I do this when I feel like I need to fill in the space.
She sings.
I will sing.
She
la,
sings.
la, 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 la. See, this is therapy for us.
That's true.
Yeah.
I almost had tears.
if the roles were reversed, I would have lost it by now.
Yeah.
So you're
I'd
very
be guarding
good.
my sleeves.
Yeah. Excuse me. I would never use yours. Also, very nice. Very wow.
Soft. Yeah.
Anything you want to add to this topic? You went to the 10-year-old with the diva party.
Yeah.
Not when
That's
I say
super
diva,
cute.
it wasn't like we didn't spend any money or anything. I just had every single game planned by the freaking minute.
High expectations.
So I had huge expectations on
Yeah.
my 2-digit birthday party.
Well, you know, at that age, it was massive. You'd never been 2 digits before.
That's what I wrote in my book. I have never been 10 years old, and it was a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Huge.
What does this
No one
say?
behaved the way I wanted them to.
Because the next change is turning 100. You're 2 digits for a very long
Exactly.
time.
And I
you
might
were
not
like,
make it to
this-
100.
This needs to be
Like, I do
very
remember
good.
thinking this is the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it wasn't even a bad time at all. But to me, it wasn't perfect. That's why I think with my wedding, I was so chill. I was
You
like, it is what it
really
is.
were.
Because I don't want to be disappointed. I'd rather leave it in the hands of God to some, universe to others, listen to our religion podcast, and just not have, you know, like I can't control this. So let it be. If it rains and there's a tornado,
Well,
fun story.
this is also why I think you're a very good person to have as a friend, is you don't expect anything from your friends.
Yeah, no.
You know, like
Yeah.
you really don't. This conversation came up recently and just so there's never any pressure. You never feel like you're letting Nat down because she doesn't really expect anything of you.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't
nice.
know where I have trying to think about. Sorry, can't find my words. Where would be a negative, and I'm sure that it's not all great to be like that, but I can't think of any.
I mean, I'm sure on some sort of deep level, it's like self-protection, and then, is it a lack of trusting other people?
And put too much pressure on myself. And
are you okay asking for help? Do you accept support? That
that would be
thing.
the downside.
Okay, so we've figured out the downsides.
That I do things by myself,
But
and
for
struggle
now,
to delegate,
for now, it's working okay.
Do you want to wrap up?
No, I'm pretty good. Just if you, sort of recognise anything that we've chatted about in terms of perfection, and particularly around if you feel like you've used protection, if you've used perfection as a way of keeping yourself safe,
yes,
or dealing with low self-esteem, or all of that. Big hug from me.
Aww.
I get it.
You did what you had to do to survive at that time.
Yep.
And there's no shame in that at all.
Yep.
Up top. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your evening, day, afternoon, midnight, and so on.